Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the dark and disappointing world of horror games that just didn't make the cut. We're talking about the bottom of the barrel, the worst of the worst, the horror games that made us want to sleep with the lights on. If we could even make it through the game without falling asleep first. Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a terrifying journey through the land of terrible horror games.
Remember that game, the one with the trailers that gave you goosebumps? The one everyone was hyped for? The one that promised to redefine horror? Yeah, this is about that game. The story was flatter than my social life after a week of streaming. The graphics looked like they were rendered on a potato. And the scares? Oh man, the scares. More like jump scares so predictable I could set my watch to them. We had such high hopes, such big dreams, and they just crushed them.
Now, I'm not one to judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a game by its graphics, but come on. This game looked like someone dug up a time capsule from 1995, popped in a game cartridge and said, "This is peak horror." The gameplay was clunkier than a robot trying to do the tango, and the controls, let's just say I've had smoother experiences wrestling an octopus in a phone booth. It was like trying to follow a conversation between pigeons, a lot of cooing and head bobbing, but no real substance.
Ever finished a game and thought, wait, that's it? This is one of those games. It's like the developers got to the end of the first act, got hungry, and decided to call it a day. We're talking maybe an hour of gameplay if you really stretch it out.
I'm all for a good mind-bending story, but this wasn't mind-bending, it was mind-breaking. It was like the developers took a bunch of random horror tropes, threw them in a blender with a bag of expired alphabet soup, and called it a narrative. The plot holes were bigger than the Grand Canyon, and the ending? Don't even get me started on the ending.
Look, I get it. Making games is hard, but releasing a game this buggy, that's just cruel. I spent more time fighting glitches than I did fighting monsters. At one point, I got stuck in a wall. How do you even code that level of incompetence?
I'm not an audiophile, but I know good sound design when I hear it. And this game? This was like listening to nails on a chalkboard while someone tries to play the banjo with a wet noodle. The voice acting was atrocious. The sound effects were repetitive and annoying. And the music? Oh, the music. It was like the composer discovered a Casio keyboard and decided to unleash their inner toddler on it.
You know that feeling when you see a familiar face in a crowd, but then you realize it's just someone who looks vaguely like your friend? This game is the equivalent of that, except instead of being mildly awkward, it's a complete disaster. This game ripped off another, much better horror game so blatantly, it's like they didn't even try to hide it. It's like they took all the good parts of the original, ran them through a cheap knockoff machine, and slapped a new coat of paint on it.
You know the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results? Well, playing this game is like volunteering for a front row seat on the insanity train. The gameplay was so repetitive, so mind-numbingly boring, I'm pretty sure I lost brain cells playing it.
Remember that kid in school who always talked a big game but could never back it up? This game is that kid. It was hyped up by everyone, from game journalists to YouTubers, promising to be the scariest game ever made.
And here it is, folks, the grand finale, the piece de resistance, the king of the trash heap. This game is so bad, so utterly abysmal, it's almost impressive. It's like the developers took every single thing that could go wrong with a horror game, threw it into a cauldron, stirred it with a rusty spoon and poured it into our eager, unsuspecting hands.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay spooky. Or don't, if these games are anything to go by. If you love this video, please like and subscribe.